when you're looking to do any kind of acting, it comes down to the ability to be real. Are you able to put realism in your acting? Now, there is many different stylistic ways of doing acting, and I think some of them are fantastic. There's, Korean drama, or there's this or there's that to have a tendency to be able to be very performance-based and comedic and elements like this, right? Well, this is great, but the reality is realism is acting. It's nothing else. And even when you're in a comedic environment, you absolutely need to be willing to be able to experience the realism of the actual experience rather than just the comedic value. And what it will do, realism will amplify your acting capabilities. So, why realism is so important is because it's this no nonsense type situation that the audiences want to have. They want to be able to see stuff that they can trust. So the thing to do is you want to be able to work with these things with emotions. You want to be able to work with an ability to be able to actually have realism. Now, here's the truth. You don't want somebody else's realism in your work. Let me repeat that. You don't want somebody else's realism in your work. You want to have your own realism. Well, that means that you have to be able to mine your own emotion. Mining your own emotion is the only way for you to be able to be real in acting. There's many different tricks people use to try and say that something's emotional. They'll make the actor's eyes go red, or they'll say that the actor can blush, and they'll change the color on the setting. And these are great. There's very nice things. That's great. But here's the thing. If you're able to find a technique for yourself in acting, if you're able to find a technique to be able to consistently put some sort of emotional gumption into your work, you'll have a lot better chances finding work as an actor. Your acting training is actually important to me, and that's why I'd like you to join me at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesdays and Thursdays for my live feed. If you find the information on my website, you can actually join the live feed. I can send you a link, and you can actually come on and talk to me face to face, and you can actually, we'll do emotional preparations together. So we can actually work to be able to access your emotions and help you be able to put emotions into your acting work. The mindset to be able to change. The mindset to be able to change from performance-based of performing a line, trying to pontificate an element. Now, some of this stuff can be very funny if it's done in the right element, but the pontification isn't really exactly the realism. And if you do pontificate, you really do need to add realism to your acting. Because the more real you are, the more it's going to resonate. It's going to resonate, it's going to work, it's going to give you more back. So the bigger question then is, how do you add realism to your acting? Look, faking it is not going to be the solution. If you fake acting, what are you going to get? You're going to have to anticipate every single thing that can happen in a real-time experience of a scene. And that's going to get very manipulative, it's going to get very heady, you're going to get rather confused. Now, I've seen between 30 and 40,000, at least, acting exercises. And what I look for when I'm learning acting by watching and studying or teaching acting is so that I can actually see the points of a thing called activation. So typically you want to be able to do your activation at the beginning of your work. So you want to be able to do a technique or something that has become known as emotional preparation. It was called inner life before, and then it became known as, very popularized as, emotional preparation. Now, if that's too complicated, then just remember this. Go into your emotion and work from personal depth. Find your personal depth. Now, you're working from your personal depth, and you're going to have an imaginary experience. Work from your personal depth, have an imaginary experience. Because you've worked from your personal depth, which is the being side of acting. The being side of acting is what gives you more in your acting than just the first moment. And I really, really, really respect people that believe that emotional preparation is only for the first moment. But that's honestly like kids' league in acting. We have to be able to understand, if we activate ourselves emotionally, it's not something, we're not giving ourselves a little puny feeling, or we're not trying to chase down something that's just fleeting. We're looking for something of depth. We're looking for an emotional depth. We're looking for something that's at least, something that's a feeling that's deep. Now ask yourself, you want to be real in acting. Okay. Are you able to mine, or do mining within yourself, or discovery processes within yourself to be able to find that? That's the question. Then, are you capable of being able to find or discover, or go and find videos that I've made, or articles, or join me live in the classes where we can work and process and be able to find and discover your emotional preparation. See, I'm not talking about my emotional preparation. I can do examples that can show you how to be able to activate my emotional preparation. And I do. And there's gonna be more of them. But the thing is that I'm not interested in doing this just to be able to show how I can do the process. I want to be able to teach you how to put emotion into your acting. Feelings are really, really wonderful, important elements of acting, but the reality is if they're not deep, they're not going to stay with you in your acting work. So this is maybe the reason why it's called emotional preparation and not feelings preparation. You're not there to get an inclination of some kind of work. You're not there to be able to try and get an instinct of what might happen in your acting. Of course you can process instinct. Of course you can process feelings. But what you're really looking to get in emotional preparation is emotion. Now I have seen, I've trained with over 35 different teachers, somewhere between 30 and 40,000 acting exercises. I think it's somewhere between 8 and 10,000 students. And I'm doing a live stream. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays and Fridays. So if you'd like to join me there, you're very welcome to join me. Emotion is the thing that you're trying to activate. Now, you activate your emotion through self-study, through emotional self-stimulation, and there's a whole bunch of other techniques that you can use. There's several different emotional preparation techniques that you can learn for yourself to be able to activate the emotion. I don't think I'm going to sit through another 30 or 40,000 acting classes, but I might. I might have another 50,000 exercises. But the reality is, when I'm teaching or watching, or when I'm teaching and watching, the reality is that what I look for and what audiences look for is the person awake and alive in the area that they're supposed to be awake and alive. Now, work with this. Understand this. If you would also, just think of it. Just boop the like button if you would. It would help. It would help me, and it would help. It's a good thing. But the thing about this is this: why realism in acting? Because connectedness. Why is there realism in acting? Why is it needed? Why do we need to have realism? Because this is the way to connect to other human beings. It's a connection vessel. You activate your emotion, and what's activated in you starts to activate something in somebody else. And then it ricochets. And that's really how you build up audiences in acting. Audiences learn to be able to trust that you have the ability to be able to emotionally activate yourself. That you have something that's actually something that's alive, that's personal, that's capable of having some kind of ebb and flow. So, to wrap this up, let's just understand that realism is something that is vital in acting. And the only way to achieve it is to be able to activate the realism in you. Then, the best approach that I can tell in a very short amount of time is you activate your emotion in you, and then you relax. You relax into the interaction. Now, the interaction might be completely shocking to you, and you might have an outburst, and it would be fine, as long as the outburst comes from something that's interacting with you. This is the kind of element that you can achieve. And I don't know why anybody would want to work another way. Look, please like, subscribe, all that stuff, and join me for live acting classes. And ask me good acting questions, and join me to be able to actually do a real-time emotional preparation. I really am into acting, and I know you are too. And the most important thing in acting is emotion. You've got to be willing and capable, and you got to know some of these tricks. These tricks of being able to activate your emotion. You activate your emotion in the being side of the work, and then you catapult yourself and dive into the doing side of the work, the interaction. And this element called emotional preparation is key. And I have a live stream at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Tuesdays and Fridays. And you can join me, and if you look on my website, you can find the information, and we can go face to face and do a live stream, and I can help you with your emotional preparations.